What's going on, everybody? This is Chad. I got my guy Brian and Thomas. This is the Abstract Square podcast. Welcome. This is episode 1. Can you believe that, guys?
Believe it. We're here.
After numerous attempts and several failures, episode 1 is here.
Wow. So, do you remember the first time we attempted to do a podcast?
Yeah, I remember. It was in my apartment in Jersey City. My fridge made that weird noise that
Oh, wow.
we didn't know it made that noise until we listened to the recording. So,
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And we had a cheap mic.
Yeah, it was terrible.
We had a cheap mic, and and then Thomas tried to edit it himself. He thought he was like Parks on the Boards.
Yeah, I tried to edit it myself, and then I realized, wait, no, I do other things well, but not this.
And then we attempted a second time. What was that like?
I wasn't there for the second time.
Nah, you were. We tried a second time at your crib.
Oh, okay, yeah. So we had the same problems. It wasn't.
You had the same problems.
Yeah, you know what else? I think I was way too angry during that time of my life, and it
Yeah.
really didn't fit. It felt like I was like Malcolm X doing a podcast.
You were planning and doing a lot of things.
Yeah, weddings and jobs
Trying to
and
eat.
everything. It was crazy.
Yeah, your life was a mess, a complete mess. And then we attempted about 2 weeks ago, and Brian, you weren't there. It was just Thomas and myself.
Intimate.
Intimate but incredible conversation.
Great
but
conversation.
a flop nonetheless.
Straight flop.
Okay, well,
But here we are.
third time's a charm.
Third time's a charm.
Mm-hmm.
And we're kicking off episode 1. Let's set it off right. Tell me what's going on. How was everyone's week? It's it's the end of the week. How was it? What happened? Brian.
I mean, what didn't happen? No, I think a lot of my focus was on work. I was consumed with what was going on over there. Young black guy in the tech industry trying to pave his way, and you often run into things that could get you to maybe be aggressive or more aggressive than you want to be. So it was a battle of holding a lot of those emotions back, but I would say that's the highlight really of the week. I mean, we had a little snow,
True.
Some flirting with staying home, but at the most part, it was work, and that was it. Sounds boring. Maybe we can dig deeper. Maybe I need some liquor to get into it. But it might come out later on. But
Got it.
Work was the top of mind.
All right. Thomas, talk to me. How was your week, man?
My week was extraordinary, exemplary, stellar.
Okay.
Can I get more big words if I can? No, I had a great week. One of my closest friends had his baby shower.
Hey,
It looked like a wedding.
What?
You know how black people do, man. He's getting married next year, though, so he's not the typical kind of black person that's never getting married but decided to have a baby shower that looks like a wedding. He just happened to do both. And all of his friends brought bottles of rosé instead of cigars. It was something different. I didn't know we had our own thing going on. But it was beautiful. I was happy for him. He took great pictures. He wore those low-top Gucci sneakers that said loved, and I was like, you could have got the high-top ones.
Oh, wow. So did he do a gender reveal as well?
He was supposed to.
Because that's the thing now.
so is that a Pinterest thing? Like,
I
I
hate
need
it.
to understand this. Where did that come from? Like, where is this popping the piñata? Somebody popping out a cake, busting balloons? I need to understand where this gender reveal concept came from.
I think people just look for an excuse to party once they get old and have nothing else to do.
It's kind of like St. Patrick's Day or Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, it's like, let's just add another celebration to the calendar. Hey, I'm having a boy, let's be happy. Or a girl. Either way, we're going to be happy, right?
I hate it.
What are the baby shower rules? So you have a baby shower for the first one, but then not the second one?
Oh, wait, I'm sorry, I gotta stop because this is hilarious. Hilarious story, right? So in the baby shower, they had this game where there was a baby in the middle of the ice.
What?
So the women all had ice in their mouths and had to suck the baby out of it.
Pause.
And you know me, I can't think straight. All I see is these ladies with ice in their mouth and just sucking until it's dry. And then there's a girl on my table says, I don't approve of this game. It is inappropriate. I'm like, it is, but I want to watch. These celebrations, man, they can get nasty. I mean, you got to think about the 63-year-old lady and the 23-year-old lady next to each other.
With ice in their mouth?
Right shoulder to right shoulder. Just sucking till the baby comes out.
I've never heard of that.
You know what I said to the lady next to me? I said, this is not right. What if somebody swallows the kid? Great sounds at baby shower. I guess that's why we have it, right?
Oh my gosh.
That's why we have it.
What was her response, though? I'm curious.
She just laughed and she understood that I was a perv of sorts. You know, I don't get to be a perv 9 days out of 10, so, you know.
So that's it.
Yeah,
that was the highlight.
I'm sorry for cutting you off for that one. But that moment was a moment I didn't want to forget.
Oh, wow. Nah,
what if you swallow the kids, old lady?
Oh my gosh.
She's probably done that. I mean,
she has
no disrespect.
Grandchildren.
She probably has.
Wait, time out. You can't say she's probably swallowed the kids and no disrespect in the same sentence.
No, it's true. Part of life.
It's true. I mean,
kids get swallowed. Kids get slaughtered. That's pigs. Sorry, I'm confused.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
Wow. So
that was
your week.
I mean, that was Sunday. If you want to talk the rest of the week.
Oh my gosh.
The rest of the week was kind of cool too, you know. Just like Brian, a lot of work, a lot of not paying anyone attention that thinks that I care about them. At work, at home, I pay attention to her all the time. Babe, I love you. But everyone else I didn't pay much attention to.
Yeah, clear that up.
So, just don't need these problems at home.
Definitely don't.
All right, Chad, so how was your week?
Man, I mean, my week was interesting. So I'm gonna go back to Saturday. I know it's not a part of this week, but I wanna touch on Saturday because as a retired sneaker addict,
you're not retired.
That was a Saturday.
Stop
you had.
it.
Oh, you had a Saturday.
Stop it. Oh, okay.
My
So that was Saturday. Okay.
Saturday. So. Thank you to Brian. He gave me the heads up on a location that would have a pair of sneakers, the Air Max 98s, Air Max 98s, the cones. And I said, I have to have these. So I get up early and I head to Jersey City. And I said to myself, no one's looking for these sneakers, right? So I get there, and apparently the store opens at 11 o'clock. I am there by 10 o'clock, which means I have a full hour of sitting in my, what I thought was a full hour of sitting in my vehicle waiting till the store open. But no, 10:20 comes, and a line starts to form because there are a pair of Jordan 9s releasing the same day.
The all black ones.
The all black ones. And I said, I still have to get in line because I don't know if they're here for those or the Air Max 98s. Mind you, I'm in Jersey City. So I get in line and I'm already uncomfortable because I'm a grown ass man in line for a pair of sneakers that I know that all I hear the entire time is my wife saying, you shouldn't get those sneakers, blah, blah, blah. You shouldn't spend your money. So that's all I hear the entire time I'm in this line. So as the line starts to thicken, there are a bunch of goons and their soldiers just cutting the line. And I'm by myself. And I say to myself, if I tell one of these guys, yo, you cut the line, I'm getting punched in my face. I am too old for this.
Yeah, you're a little too old to get punched in your face.
I am too old to go into...
when you go home to your daughter and be like, oh, yeah, daddy got decked.
Yeah, and not only that, but walking into work on Monday...
Nah, you're working from home. Let's be real.
For the next 2 weeks.
Yo,
with ice on the eye.
This whole time, I'm like, this is a very dangerous situation. There's a guy out here with an ankle bracelet on and his goons, and there are Yukons outside of the sneaker store.
Wait. So why does the Yukon go with this description? I don't understand. Are you just against American cars?
No, I own one.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I can't even get you with that one.
Sorry. So I say, so first off, there's one guy, he approaches me and goes, yo, are you in line for the Jordans? I say, nah. What size are you? I'm like,
Pause.
really?
AKA his pockets just got tapped.
My pockets low key get tapped, and I'm like, okay, I'm not here for the Jordans. And then he's like, what you here for? I said, the Air Maxes. And he's like, what Air Maxes? Let me see a picture. I'm like, what?
He asked you for a picture?
Asked me for a picture.
Yo, you didn't tell me all of this, though.
Nah, me neither. He asked you for a photo?
He asked me for a photo.
Wait. So the same guy that taps your pocket, so let me see a picture?
Yeah. I'm solo, but he's got his soldiers with him. I'm like
you in middle school, yo.
I'm like legit outnumbered here, picking up what I thought was going to be like a pair of sneakers no one else wanted, right? So I finally get into the store because the store is only letting 2 people in at a time. I buy them and I'm thinking to myself, yo, when I walk out this store, I'm about to get popped. And I can't go home like this. It's too early on a Saturday. I gotta take my daughter to swim class.
This is so honest. To swim class. That is
oh my gosh! Like, could you imagine the conversations that I have to have between my eye being black and going back to normal the next what? I don't know. I've never been punched in my eye.
Me neither.
What? Does it take a week? I don't know.
Oh,
whatever it is, it's way too long for my lifestyle.
I know ice is cold and doesn't belong in your face.
So that was my week, and I said to myself, I'm never, ever doing this again.
So you retired for real?
I am done.
Or is
if
it only online?
I cannot get in line anymore. I'm too grown for this.
I've been telling you this for years. You're getting too much money to be.
I'm gonna
talking about. Let me stand online.
I'm just gonna spend the extra $40 to just pay the premium through some guy waiting in the back room of Foot Locker.
You know what? That's like going to the barbershop. We're way too old to go to a barbershop.
That's true.
That's nasty.
No.
Yeah, we're too old for that.
I'm not going to the barbershop.
I'm too old to.
I disagree. What you mean? Barbershop is culture.
A barbershop is culture, but to a certain point, it's like the culture I don't want to be around anymore. Like, I love my people, but sometimes it just smells like too much weed, Hennessy, and cigarettes at the same time. Mm-hmm. And I don't really want to be there when my house smells like lavender. It smells like the Cosmopolitan Hotel half the time. I really don't want to.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we're too old to stand in a barbershop.
Yeah, like, I don't want to go in and got to pay extra money to skip somebody because I don't want to be there all day.
Right.
That's one thing you will be there.
All day.
You'll be there all day.
You're just losing money just sitting there on a Saturday.
And it's unfortunate because I think barbers, they haven't evolved. You know, like barbers, they have been the same for years. They will be there late. They will stop in the middle of your haircut.
Do push-ups.
Talk to the baby mother.
Talk to the baby mother. Stop in the middle and text someone or have a full conversation or eat lunch. Like, they haven't evolved in decades. So it's like, I don't have time for that.
My last barber had a coke habit and a baby mama that lived upstairs.
It's explaining your hairline right now.
Listen, man. Like, what is that? Hims? Hims is the new thing right now?
Yeah, for Hims, man.
I need to get this Hims going, man. Shout out
the
to
biotin.
Why you telling me your barber had a drug problem, man?
Yo, his name is Koki.
Koki.
My barber had a drug problem too, yo. He sold crack straight at the back of the store. I remember this too.
Mine bought it.
And as a young kid, like, you don't realize what's going on until you see it. Like, he would stop. I remember his name is, we're just gonna call him C.
Call him out.
Carl.
Carl.
I remember Carl, yo, had a jerry curl, you know, had a few teeth missing, but he could cut. Like, he could really cut. Problem is, he was selling to the fiends. He would go back in the back room. They would come in. They'd do what they got to do. He'd come back out and continue shaping me up.
Wow. See, I'm hearing 2 mistakes from both of y'all. One had a drug problem. Yours had a jerry curl. I'm not getting my hair cut by
But here's the thing. I was 12 and under. Like, it was my mom taking me to Carl, you know? And now I put it together. Yeah, I see that he was slanging. You know?
I had Lonnie in the hood when I was a kid getting haircuts. My brother walks into Lonnie one day and says, "Lonnie, I want to get 2 half moon parts in my hair." My brother gets a full moon in the middle of his head.
Oh my god!
A full circle.
Yo, my barber's name was Cornbread.
What? Do you understand why we can't go to the barbershop anymore, man? This is crazy. Cornbread?
Cornbread. Yes.
Did he have
You ask
Earl in the next chair?
Right. You ask him how he get that name?
I never knew how he got that name. All I knew he was a dread. Like pure.
That doesn't make any sense.
I know.
Cornbread is a dread?
Yeah.
Did he have a name for short?
Nah. Not even bread. Like you called him cornbread. Yo, when we would call to get a cut, it'd be like, "Can I speak to cornbread?"
Nigga had mad iron skillets in the crib, yo.
Like speak to cornbread is cool.
Right. Yes, cornbread. But anyway, did you guys have a chance to catch the last episode of Atlanta?
Sure did.
Thoughts?
Sure did. Still amazing show. Accurate, relevant, but unapologetic. You know what I'm trying to say.
Jetic, man.
Yeah.
Jetic,
With no apologies.
Say the
We're
damn
We're gonna have
word.
to cut that out. But
Say the
regardless,
damn
like
word.
he's telling his perspective and he's telling his story for us without regard.
Yeah.
There's no sugarcoating. He's just telling it as it is, and I appreciate that.
You know what it is? I think for us, we all lived in Atlanta, right? So I think there's that connection
Major
for
part.
us, right? Like
Yeah.
understanding, like when Ern had the money and he couldn't spend it anywhere, the entire time I was saying to myself, just go to the strip club the entire time. And I think you only understand that when you've lived the Atlanta lifestyle.
There's nowhere else to go.
In Atlanta, there's nowhere else to go.
No. And feel comfortable? No. Which is so sad. But it's nowhere else to go.
Nah.
But Onyx or Magic City. But probably Onyx. You feel a little safer.
And the fact that, he's
Or Follies.
actually putting
Follies.
the spots,
Yeah.
calling it out.
And actually, not just like making up an Onyx, like actually being at Onyx.
The real
Right,
spot.
the real
in
Onyx.
the real parking lot. Like,
Right.
And that Onyx parking lot, if you've never seen it, it's huge. It's like being at the mall, but you're going to see nothing but...
If you can park there.
Yeah. In contrast to Magic City's parking lot, which I went to last week, it's like you can't even park anywhere. It'd be at 9 o'clock in the evening, and it's like $50 to park your car.
You
It's
gotta
like,
park on Peter Street. Like, you gotta.
damn, you ain't got to park on Peter Street. Man.
It's like Magic City is like the easiest place to get robbed.
It's the easiest place ever because you can't park unless you pay a lot of money.
Right.
I parked on my homeboys club and then walked over there, and it's like, I'm probably going to get robbed at both clubs. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Right. But I think Atlanta touches on topics that other shows just aren't capable of touching on. Like the fact that Van was able to say catching someone red-handed and make that joke.
Yeah.
I was like, that's crazy.
That was a good joke.
I also like how he started the whole episode with something that actually happened.
Right.
And, mimicked it to the point where you knew what it was and made a parody of, how crazy it was and kind of weaved it into his story.
Right.
And it really, it had a little bit to do with the episode, but it still was done to prove a point. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
that's the part that it's like, it's random, but it still does make a lot of sense when he's going through that
Right.
episode.
Who's one character on the show you want to just see evolve more?
I want to see, I actually want to see Paperboy evolve a little bit more. Like, I know he's, a dope boy rapper or whatever, but I think there's a lot more going on behind there. And I think he's hilarious because not only does he know how to act, but his facial expressions, his looks, the way
right.
that he reacts to certain things, I feel like it's real life, and I want to see him evolve a little bit more because I think he's a talented dude.
Yeah. You know what it is about Paperboy? He's your typical artist, right? Like someone that doesn't have the look.
Mm-hmm.
And he says it on the show. He said it. He was like, yo, I don't have the look to do the commercials. And then Homeboy was like, got the yoo-hoo. And I think that's the evolution of Paperboy, seeing him become an artist that grows. And I think that's the great piece about his character that I think maybe season 3 or 4 that we'll be able to see. Which I hope.
Well, I think that Paperboy I don't want to see him evolve. Like, I think that he he's the intelligent one out of the crew, even though Ern is perceived as the intelligent one.
Mm-hmm.
Because Ern comes to him and says, hey, I need advice. And Ern is the one that like has a little bit of brain, right? So what I want to see evolve is Ern's baby mother. I want to see her get her life together because she doesn't believe in this man that continues to like win at the end of the day. And it's like she really just plays him for a sucker, but he's intelligent, he's focused, he has a dream, and she just wants to like live a regular life.
Sounds like Atlanta to me.
It sounds like Atlanta. We'll just call her Atlanta.
Yeah, like that sounds like the typical Atlanta experience that I've had.
Yeah.
Like their life is just okay. Right.
And exactly why I want to see her evolve, right? Life is just okay. Meanwhile, you have this dreamer of a man that's, can either win big or lose big, and you're just like okay with like right in the middle. And I think that's who I want to see evolve in general, right? Not just on the show, but just in life, right? Like our people.
I hear that.
Okay. All right. That's cool. I don't know. I'm not really interested in seeing Van evolve.
I'm interested in seeing women evolve in general.
Why? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, that's kind of foul. I don't really mean it like that. I don't mean like...
Wow, that was a really...
It was stupid, and I take it back. What I really meant to say was...
On the screen?
I was thinking of certain women in general that we've had problems with, like the one that we saw on Instagram with the green pants on that decided to do... What do you call those? A little bouncy exercise she did, and just decided to show her little green box through her pants.
Kegels?
Kegels?
Nah. I don't
know. Looked like she was doing like the butterfly stretch.
Yeah, like a butterfly stretch. Yeah. Like, what makes you butterfly stretch on Instagram? You need to evolve.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy.
That is crazy. Well, so much for that.
What, the butterfly?
Yeah.
The fact that it won't leave my mind lets me know that, like, I have problems.
Do you want to talk about them here? Or
I mean, I don't want to like go through therapy with y'all. I kind of just want to not see women decide to butterfly stretch on Instagram and set your phone perfectly so that we can see the very midsection of your like torso. It's just not for me.
So if your wife did that,
there's no if. There's no if.
All right, DJ Envy.
There's no if.
Look, DJ Envy, don't talk about my wife.
There's no if. Honestly, that's how I felt just now. I got a little upset.
You should have seen it. Thomas looked at me crazy.
Is Jesus talking to me right now?
I apologize.
We should talk about them. I'm not really.
Let's go to that. Let's get to that right now. All
right. So we have a group chat going on, right? And I had no clue of this happened. And Brian in the group chat says, yo, have you seen this DJ Envy video? And luckily I'm working from home, so it's easily accessible for me to go to YouTube and check it out. And I was so confused. And I'm like, what's happening? And I've never seen DJ Envy this tight before. So he explains why. And I took a step back and I'm like, it's not that serious for me.
So for those who don't know, explain why DJ Envy was that heated.
So Desus and Mero essentially said...
Cornballs.
They said that his wife was there for the check. Right? So...
That's crazy.
Envy had an issue because he said that, that was disrespectful. Mm-hmm. And I'm like... okay, if you feel it's disrespectful, you have the right to feel that way. But they, in my opinion, they genuinely apologized. And that's when it should have been over, but Envy couldn't let it go, which was crazy.
Yeah, because I bet you his wife didn't let it go. I got to go back home to this.
Yeah, it triggered something.
Yeah, it's something deeper than a little diss, right? Like,
and that's what they do. That they know how to get under people's skin. That's just, and right. Even to back that up, you were on the whatever it is, the real or whatever it was, talking about it
in a tuxedo jacket, which is crazy.
A tuxedo jacket,
a white one.
So
nasty.
I don't really understand why he's that mad when he's out here disrespecting. Yo, do you know what's crazy?
So I went on his Instagram and he posted like the pre-roll of the show,
mm-hmm.
and he says, I want y'all to have that same energy when y'all come on the show. That same energy. Like, if I'm telling someone, yo, I need you to have that same energy when I see you,
So I thought that he was talking about, I want you to have that same energy that you had when you were on your show. Because, all right, so they had their little spat at the Breakfast Club. He left and went out the room. And then Deezus and Mero later that day, taped their show and went in on Envy. It wasn't no apologies. It wasn't, they were going in on him all the way. Mm-hmm. That's when Envy, after that, texted, "Oh, I wish you had the same energy when I saw you." So, AKA, don't be fake. If you're going to talk shit to my face. Right. Don't apologize. And then, on your show, go back and be talking shit. But the fact is, he walked out the fucking room. So all bets are off. Like, you're not.
You can't even feel the energy when you walk out the room. So, I thought that was kind of whack.
He was corny for that.
Like, you can't walk out the room. Like, if you got a problem with somebody, you can't walk out the room.
And especially if you
No. You can't be. He's at his job.
That is true.
I might have to walk out the room if I'm at work.
If he can't handle it. But the fact is,
he in the street, I'm snuffing you, right? Like, it's just going down. But I'm at work.
You really think Envy was going to snuff one of them?
He's from Queens. We're not playing with y'all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't let this light skin stuff fool you.
The same Queens dude walked out the room.
At work. What would you do at work if a personality said something to you wrong at the job?
But here's the thing. He could have, my thing is, he could have addressed it before in the green room. He could have addressed it off the camera.
Facts.
But he decided to do it, whether it was producers or whoever else's, idea, on camera. So if you were ready to address it on camera, I believe you should have been ready to sit there and take it and continue the interview, not walk out.
Right. Because you know what's crazy? You know what's crazy? When he walked out the room, they had more jokes. They thought it was worse. Comedy.
But you didn't feel as if they were a little bit nervous making those jokes? They didn't really feel...
No, I thought that was them.
I don't know. I mean, when you corny, you sound corny. That's kind of what it is.
The fact that Angela Yee and Charlamagne had jokes too. The fact that they even thought about sitting in Envy's chair while he was gone is
I didn't catch that part.
Yeah, so Charlamagne was like, let's just pan onto the empty chair real quick. And Angela Yee said, that's him. He gets mad when it comes to certain stuff. He gets emotional. Like, so they confirmed,
right,
that he was in his feelings.
He was in his
she
feelings.
saw that DJ Envy check, though. I'm not going for that.
You don't think so?
No, that's not cool for me. This is my wife. Like, you're not going to say that to me. Because you're insinuating that she's with me for this? And he publicly on television.
So you think those comments weren't in his Instagram post at all, ever in life?
But it's not that. It's what I got to live with now after you said that online, on TV, publicly. Like, it's shareable.
You publicly admitted to cheating on her. What do you pick? Would you rather publicly tell your wife you cheated on her, or publicly tell the world that she's here for the check?
Well, honestly, probably cheat on her, because then I can blame myself a lot more. But, like, this is directly having to do with her. Like, it means that she is not the good person, not me. I can deal with not being a good person. I can't deal with my wife not being a good person.
But he cleared it up, right? So he had his chance to speak.
You're a nice guy.
And he cleared it up, right? Yeah, you are. But he cleared it up.
If you believe that.
And that's the part where, I thought it was a genuine apology, even though we know it was still like...
I don't know why everyone says that. It didn't feel genuine at all to me.
It did.
It felt like I'm a little bit, like...
Uncomfortable,
so let me say something that doesn't make me look soft. That's how it felt to me.
Because you on camera and you on
I'm on camera and I don't want to look soft in this interview. Like, I have no...
I could see that.
Man, I don't know. I just smelled...
So what rubs you wrong way? Talk to me about corny and Deezus and Mero. Like, you one of the first people I've heard. Probably not. Probably like the second or third. That's like, yo, they corny. Like, I don't bang with them or.
Because I used to like them early Twitter, Complex days even. Yeah. I thought they were cool, but it's just gotten to the point where it's these voices are really annoying, and it just like it doesn't feel authentic. It doesn't feel like the Bronx to me whatsoever. And guess what? I'll go tomorrow. We just talked about my barber Koki. Guess what? He's in the Bronx. He doesn't sound anything like this comedian dude. Like, it just doesn't feel authentic. And I'm big on us being authentic, because when we do it, we put out good movies. Right. And billions of dollars.
Right.
Otherwise, we just like coons and talk about radio personalities, families, and I don't think that's... If you're really authentic, you know better than to do that. You know, one of the biggest things about our community is we actually love each other.
Right.
We actually take care of each other, make sure everyone's good, right? And they don't come off that way at all.
I feel that way about Charlemagne.
Me too. I think he's a complete
I feel that way about Charlemagne.
I like Charlemagne.
How?
Because it gives you a realistic view. He's, in my eyes, he's logical.
Logically ignorant.
I can agree with that.
And I'm not for ignorance at all.
Yeah, but he's got the same issue that Kanye has. It's not what you say, it's how you say it, and his delivery sucks. But if you unpeel the layers to his delivery and just listen to the actual content, there's so many levels to it.
Yeah, he definitely makes a good attempt at making sense.
But I also question why he's saying what he's saying. If you're a descendant of Wendy Williams, the queen of petty, the queen of starting shit just to start it, I can't trust your word because I always question why you're saying what you're saying. Is it for the likes? Is it for the views?
Wait.
Is it for the,
So you never agree with any of his donkeys of the day?
No, I can't say that I've never agreed with his, any of his donkeys of the day, but a lot of it is why he's saying it, right? Like, maybe we can get into the Monique thing and all that. I mean,
stuff. that and the Afro Latina thing come to mind immediately, where he was just completely ignorant to what was going on.
But I feel like to a fault on purpose, right? Like, I think he knows better, but he's gonna continue to play that lane because that's what's gonna make him money. That's what he is. That's his character, right?
Yeah,
I've been over that.
I'd hope not, because that is a real detriment to our culture. If you're just gonna say, you know what, let me give some shock value instead of giving some intelligence, it doesn't work for me.
And so I think also it's we can get into the black women and how he don't give a fuck. He'll give donkey today to the most respectable woman like Monique. And if we supposed to bring each other up, that's the shit I don't like.
Yeah,
because you bringing other people down. And don't get me wrong, syndicated radio, but we know who listens.
Right.
And so I don't like that attitude. That's the only thing that bothers me. I don't feel that way about these. I think they're just, two dudes from the Bronx that joke, but they started teetering in that way once they hit Vice.
Right.
And so that's where I see your point. Yeah.
And you and I have been talking about this for years now. I've been anti-Vice, anti-Complex 5 years, probably plus. It just doesn't translate to what I know is authentic at all.
Well, it's not, because we know who runs it.
Right.
So,
yeah, now we know who runs it.
I mean, did we ever not know?
Well, in the beginning, I think there was more authenticity to it, but now there's corporate backing behind it.
Mm-hmm. It's a different level.
It's a different level now. So like now, I don't really agree with Vice, and I don't really agree with the moves of Complex. So
what do we agree with then? Like, what's a good media outlet that we think portrays the authentic?
Well, I think there's new ones coming out. Like Praz has one that's coming, right? Which is specifically geared towards us, people of color. I think that one has an opportunity to be something new to the market, but it's far few in between. Like I think there's an opportunity as long as it's backed by the right people. Which is interesting for me because, well, okay, so we could look at Revolt, right? Like that's an outlet. But I still think there's a gap there.
So much potential.
But there's a gap.
But a lack of talent, right? Like we know personally because we're all very close to those industries, right? Like the talent that comes through a Revolt is the same talent that came through a record label, right? When you and the three of us here know the talent that goes through our technology companies is a totally different level, and no disrespect to any record label executives or managers or whatever the case may be, but it's a very different POV, right?
Right.
Like, we know things on a very different level.
Yeah.
So you can't expect the Revolt to really shine if you're not, looking for the proper talent.
Yeah, I mean it takes money, and I think that's one piece that's missing from Revolt. Like I've spoken to a few people, and the money is definitely short over there.
I've been plowing through the Undefeated.
Now plow through, bro. Don't pause that.
Yeah. The Undefeated. It's basically blog, sports, culture.
It's dope.
HBCU, but it's still backed and funded by ESPN.
Is it? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It's dope though. I like it.
So I think there's subsets that are starting to pop up, but independent wise, I don't know of anything else.
There was something else that started. I can't think of. I can't think of it. I'll look it up.
Blevity?
No, but they got some monies, which is good. I'm happy for them.
Well, Blevity,
and they started grinding out here years ago.
Yeah. Shout out to Blevity. So what's up with Snapchat, man?
So, I mean, recently, I don't know if it was Snapchat or a content provider posted a slap Rihanna or punch Chris Brown.
Oh, wow. I saw that.
Animation poll kind of to like vote
right
on that. And, Rihanna clapped back, kind of said a message about them actively promoting or supporting domestic violence after all she's been through, after everything that's been going on. And actually saw a headline that said that shares dropped.
I'm looking at that right now. Wow.
So that's crazy.
I think this is
down 3.6%, by the way.
The beginning of the end came at the IPO, but I still think it really might be over for Snapchat. One, of course, they're not really keeping up with the times. Two, you got evil corporation Zuckerberg I hear copying feature for feature.
As he should. That's gangster, by the way.
On the same platform. So, I think it's over for Snapchat. I give it to the end of 2018 before they shut it down.
The end of 2018.
Before they shut it down. My friends still work there, man. We can't do that.
I want your friends to flourish, but
they'll be all right.
Wow, yeah. That's a short timeline.
It's only March.
That's a short timeline.
It's still a short timeline for all that money.
Right.
All right, maybe 2019. All right, fine. But
right, because that's right. This isn't the first time the stock has dropped. Didn't Kylie?
Kardashian,
yeah, the stocks dropped when Kylie said, "Hey, I don't use it as much anymore," and then now it's dropping again. That's crazy.
It's kind of suck when your influencers have that much power over your business.
Right.
They're not even like employees or decision makers. They're just like, I'm done with this.
Now, right. I do believe in their power of innovation and their thought process to kind of understand what makes the social world tick. But there's only so much you could do in this time, in this day and age. What more can you really do to stay ahead? Not much.
That's true. Yeah, the only way to stay ahead is to continue to create original content, in my opinion.
And if your influencers don't like you, that content is quiet.
It's super quiet.
But then, to y'all point, people forget because,
yeah,
I know somebody's in H&M right now.
I don't think so.
No, that is not true. I saw a girl on the street today, one of us, clutching a small H&M bag, and I looked at her super crazy, and it almost felt like she didn't want to look me dead in my eyes.
Because she knew.
I'm like, girl,
she was in the sunken place.
You better answer me. You better answer me. That is so crazy. And it's so funny because I was talking to one of my friends over the weekend, and we were both like, man, I could go for an H&M t-shirt right now. But we was like, nope, sorry. Because I've even had to check myself, all right, we still mad at H&M?
Yeah, you've asked me that personally.
I've asked both of y'all that.
You doing this?
We doing H&M or not?
No,
And then what's crazy is what just recently happened where they're trying to steal art from artists, street art.
Yeah.
So it's okay.
Shout out to Gucci, by the way.
Well, at least Gucci took the opportunity to involve Dapper Dan.
With a little pressure.
Speaking of that, that's
big agency.
I'm very excited about that.
Yeah.
So, are they really doing a biopic or a movie or something like that?
They opened up a location already
for Dapper Dan.
Yeah, and they're doing a movie on him. Yeah,
I'm glad to see that happen.
Is that all translation? Doing all of it, or
I don't know if it's all translated. I don't know if this.
I don't care. I'm just happy it's being done.
Me too. That's how I feel.
That's long overdue. And I hope they do this movie right. I need to really see Dapper Dan's involvement in fashion, right? And I want to see how he was able to translate that over into the street culture, because that's huge for New York.
It's huge for the hip hop in general.
Yeah, not even just hip hop. because Mike Tyson spent so much money with him.
Yeah.
So
And he snuffed somebody too, by the way.
outside, I forgot who it was.
Yeah,
It was another boxer.
Yeah.
But
Shout out to Mike.
he was involved in black culture from a legal and an illegal perspective.
Yeah.
And one thing that stands true, at least from my understanding, was he was well respected.
Mm-hmm.
That is huge.
I think that's huge in our culture in general, just the word respect, right? And I think that's why I'm not a big fan of that whole thing with Jesus and Miro. Like, we respect each other on a different level. Like, that's why we have the term OG, right? Like, we respect people.
Right.
It kind of sucks that not everyone that's culture.
Yeah, that term OG is dying.
Yeah, it is.
Because everyone's like a young OG now. Everyone's a young OG.
I think that's silly.
I hate it.
Because respect is dying, which is the worst thing that could happen.
Yeah. You know what else I'm excited about? Movie, TV wise, Roxanne.
Yes,
I want to see this
dope.
Roxanne Shantae.
As long as they do it right.
I mean,
when you mess up hip hop biopics or biopics, however you want to say it, I really get pissed off.
how you feel about Tupac?
Hate it. I really. So, what was the song that he was playing in the car before he got shot up?
It was Blackberry Molasses.
Blackberry Molasses,
which is fire.
Really? The fact that they
is that
pointed
what you call a song?
is that? Yes, Bobby V.
Yeah, Bobby
Your best
Valentino.
friend,
Yeah.
It's your best friend.
You sleepers.
Wait, was that song really the song that was played before he was shot?
Nobody knows.
I walked away from that movie saying to myself, I have so many questions. That movie really pissed me off. I was so upset by that movie. At least the Biggie movie was much more relevant.
Yeah,
there was the only pieces about the Biggie movie I didn't really like was I thought that Lil' Kim was terrible, which is Notori. I'm sorry, but I thought that was
Queens.
a terrible Lil' Kim depiction, and I was not feeling the Faith Evans either. Those. But other than that, I really enjoyed Notorious. I enjoyed that movie.
That was a good movie.
That was a connection for me. But Tupac? No, don't get me wrong. The guy who played Tupac did a really great job, because if you weren't looking at the screen, you'd be like, that's Tupac.
You think he would have had more of a connection with the Tupac movie if you were from the West Coast? Because equally, I mean, people could argue that they weren't the best movies, but I know I had a bigger connection with, or more of a connection with the Biggie movie because I'm from the East Coast, right?
Right.
That it was real.
Yeah. But I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully they do those two movies right. Those two movies are very important to the culture, and I think our youth need to understand that, Gucci Gang is not where we should be with the culture. It is truly understanding.
Man, Dapper Dan talks about exclusion, right? Like, he only exists because we were excluded.
Right.
That's so huge to let people know at scale. Hey, we took lemons and made lemonade.
Facts.
Mm-hmm.
And it evolved. Remember the early 2000s? We evolved the whole Dapper Dan culture and started applying it to sneakers.
And said on Jadakiss videos, knock yourself out.
Right.
That's...
it's evolved, and now I feel like fashion cannot survive without us. They need us.
It'll never survive. What you mean? It's ingrained, Like there's things that are gonna come back and recycle, and they'll reinvent and say that it's theirs. And
I mean, in fashion right now, the biggest shoe that's going on is like a grandfather orthopedic looking shoe. That's not us, and that's the biggest thing that's going on right now.
Don't get me started.
Are those shoes not horrible?
They look like Skechers.
All of them.
I really,
Balenciaga, Gucci. Who else is doing these things? Adidas is doing it by itself.
Everyone is doing this terrible
Chanel.
looking sneaker, and I wish it would just go away. I want it to die yesterday. I want this sneaker to die. I want
really
it to burn
you
and
feel some
die.
type of way about
It's nasty. It looks crazy.
There's no way you running from anybody
that.
in
Be
that
a
sneaker.
$1,000 shoe.
And
Not
your
running.
$1,000 shoe.
No.
I don't even know if you can get through security check at the airport with that sneaker. So trash. I wouldn't let you in anywhere with that sneaker.
And we going like brand for brand trash.
Trash.
Like all of them.
All of them. I don't care. I want this bulky sneaker thing
It's
to
not culture.
die.
It's not culture though.
Nah, that's not.
There's no way you in a skinny jean in a sneaker that looks
Them
like
fucking moon shoes, yo.
looks like Play-Doh on your foot.
Is that the power of Kanye? Did Kanye get old and want to be a dad and then just like make dad sneakers cool?
But even Kanye, I mean, dad sneakers are dad sneakers, right? But the extra big ass shoes, like I don't even think Kanye can go that far.
I mean, he went forward with that Calabasas shoe, the Reebok that he turned into an Adidas.
I wanted to die.
I wanted to kill myself like
That's crazy.
Yeezys
I
or like
wanted to die. I want that sneaker to die.
It's done. It's a wrap.
so in black, and I started crying. Like you got a second release.
Reeboks.
He definitely took a Reebok and put an Adidas logo on it.
I want Kanye to be innovative.
When's the last time you think he was innovative from the footwear?
I want Kanye to. Okay, so
Red Octobers?
yeah,
Culture.
no. You know why? Because that shoe was curated through other Nikes.
But it was still a
That's
product.
not innovation.
Well, what is innovation? Innovation is taking the things that we have, whether it be a whatever microchip, and making it into something new. All right, innovation is taking pieces of other things that we have and creating something new that we've never seen before. That's my definition.
Innovation is creating a self-tying shoe.
I mean, it.
Innovation is creating a car that parks itself.
Okay, but I think that's subjective,
Innovation
right?
is not when you take a sneaker that was formulated off of a Bo Jackson and an Air Max and putting it together and saying Red October.
So you're tying innovation to functionality, and I respect that.
That is innovation.
I mean, and you guys get this the best, right? Like, that's the person that says they decided to be a designer like the next day. Like, they don't get a chance to innovate because they just can't, right? They don't even have the thought process to understand how to innovate.
Yeah. So, but he has the money to innovate.
If he hires a team of innovators, i.e. those companies we think that aren't hiring the right talent, if he knows who to bring on board, then yeah, he can innovate. But if he just has his homeboys and Don C makes these sneakers that like decides to like, not Don C, what's the dude's name with the off-white? What's his name? Virgil.
Oh, Virgil?
Yeah, that decides to make his sneakers look like crooked. That's not innovation.
Put zip ties on the
Yeah,
shit.
it's like, come on,
zip
man,
ties, and you want to change the laces, and
That's not talent.
That's not talent. That's, don't get me wrong. I think what they're doing for the culture is great, but I don't think that's innovation.
It's not.
And it's not really pushing the culture forward for the youth.
Okay.
No, it's giving them a lower barrier to entry. It's like, okay, guys, if you think that a zip tie is gonna like make something look cool, or you can put a zip tie on a t-shirt and now you got a brand new line.
Right. Yeah, I'm just
You can upcharge.
waiting for Off Black to come. Who's got Off Black coming? Get out of here.
Off black. We should drop that.
I wanted to die.
It's like a whole parody of how stupid everything else looks.
I wanted to die.
Let's call it off stupid.
Well, I think it's our time, guys.
I
This
think
was
we
awesome.
Nah, this is cool.
I think third or fourth time's a charm.
Wow. Episode 1 in the books.
Yeah.
So 1.3.
1.3.
I like that.
We should call it episode 1.3.
I like that. And the
What
next
it
one
is.
will be 2.
Officially 2. We're not going to pull this iPhone shit, right?
What you mean? Oh, yeah.
Episode
Right.
X.
2S.
I don't know. We'll figure it out. But everyone, I'm Chad.
Speed.
Thomas.
Thank you. We'll talk to you guys. Holla.